다들 다 도마 넘버링이 상황라 치료들이 쉬어요. 그런데 눈들이 저림 the public that you could already the talk and the teachings 가르라면 점도 타마디 드린 건다 캔슬이야. 쉬어요.
Good afternoon, everyone. The program for this afternoon is that I will give a public talk.
The limitless love, rejoice, compassion, rejoice. We are not sure. How come? Okay. We are not really sure the topic, but nearly, I think, sort of like that. Limitless. Alcohol, limitless. That day, well, something wrong. Đang ở dưới ta dari de 요 가르쳐다지 여러분이야 팀이바 영화게 다 고급을 주문해. 엔드링 주산에 kom 디주산에 다 지기 오마레 두주 망하러 냠도 가수 냠도 지 투야 때 두주산에 나도 계시야 빈주 계시야 두주로 때 나니를 망하러 나니 니마 니즈만 중앙으로 봐 티징디 안다리데 두주 망하러 또 중앙에 드린 주산에 네 자와라야 캬섬 데스 가르쳐야지 셈나노리아 satisfied 갈라 간섬을지 satisfied 중요해 저와슈이스
So, of course, this is my second visit to Europe, my second opportunity to come here. And this time, the actual entire visit may be a bit shorter, but actually the time that we are able to spend together for teachings is longer than last year. Last year we only had 2 days. And so we've had a full 4 days together for the teaching program this year. And I hope that this has brought some satisfaction to your mind.
이나 당에 satisfied 사디 계제디 니지 계제디 때문에 이나다 satisfied 자디 초진 갈라카버지 그래서나 나주다지 니마지가 나로리네 나주에다지 TV난 데베칼리나 사발로비나데 다나 싱글 랑과리아 나주 지 모라탄 드kal리나 다지 거디 통데 상물로 unsatisfied 소마르다지 촉시 제야 매백 다 information 경야다 저런 딘지기어 마 단도 데라라바지 디 요고도 비뇨고도 사르지 진대지 예배 인두산에 다대게 아주지 모던 가수다지 society 좀 디나로래야 간다 드리직 information 촉시 초시에 바치아요 말아서 아직 information 망고 주여비 인두산에 다디 공배왕 아주 람상 satisfied 차디 강해지 차디.
But on the other hand, I think that these days in general, it's quite difficult to be satisfied. The reason for this is because if we look at the information that's coming at us day in and day out, even through the course of just one day, whether it's from television or magazines or the signs that we see when we're driving on the road in our cars, much of the content of these messages is delivering an encouragement to not be satisfied, to not be content with what you have. Much of the content of what we see coming at us is trying to tell us that we don't have enough, that who we are now and what we have now is not sufficient. And that's what it's like a lot of the time in our modern society. And due to becoming habituated to these types of messages, I think that generally speaking, it might be difficult for us to have the experience of satisfaction or satiation.
material that the development of ya yeshu chinche ngasula limit this choice dabchida ji namta thaye bandoji da ni choice mangboji aso te ya de jeda de indu sane an khadu ine ya ji one cho xie ba ji the choice ya xue de ji yong ya me ji khadu ine ya da ga zhe ji 디지 초이스도야 텔레라바도지 되는 두산에 그 뒤에 아줄이야지 가르쳐다지 지 단더자는 초시에 지기 단 디송사르지 아주 람미토바지 다 고주 수고요 다디 저런 디디야마 단돈 디야레사지 레연 두산은 아주 그 뒤에네 당한 디소당아 satisfied 차소 사지 렌자마도 버치기 내다는 버치 차려.
So due to technological developments and rapid material developments and continuous ongoing progress in these domains, it's as if there are limitless choices presenting themselves to us all the time. And so it's very difficult at any given point in time, due to the situation, for us to feel a sense of contentment and satisfaction. It's difficult for us to feel a sense that we've made the best choice possible that we could make, or we've obtained the best quality thing that we could have possibly have obtained. Because as soon as we choose something, then there seems to be a message coming at us that no, what you have isn't okay because we've made this new version of that thing that's better. And so your situation is not sufficient. A lot of the messages are like that. So this type of environment makes it difficult for us to proclaim from our own side, I am going to be contented, what I have now is sufficient, and so forth.
That is material ngazoliaji karjuedaji happiness retadi material wealth that the artificial happiness doji that kandar di monetane twen tambegi karjuedaji ngazolia digiteade kala khabro chade achika twen tambale ngazuji yitsimbaji da lo debaru tin jong thoyadi kala khabro chade.
But material happiness, of course, only goes so far. Material happiness or material comfort, material wealth, is basically an artificial form of happiness. In a true or genuine sense, it's not able to provide us with ultimate happiness or real happiness or a genuine, uncontrived state of satiation or mental ease.
다나 신기 material power 대 템포시다면 되지. 네 삼삼에 도바차 삼삼 마우르 차들이 지두산에 디준선 때네 reliable 섬으로 다지 지다지 이시 제셔버도 지대 갈라하고시다 차대버지 주차대요.
And furthermore, material power is a very unstable form of power. Sometimes it goes up and sometimes it goes down. It is something that is not very reliable, something that's very difficult to place our trust in.
다 딜레야 지 가르에 개처 가르르스나 정 아주 다다지 가르 consume the greed on the consume 시비치게 변사 점블링게 아니 가르 resource natural resource 디 배제 시비당 거 아래 다 이내 아주 하고 지차라 아주 the greed seven human greeds and 드라민 대응함들 자탐 해버지 다지 limitless 말아 no limitless 산한테도 딱 한다 unlimited 서라 가서 다 리지 차대요 아래 다 이내야 natural resource 들이야 체여버지 되는 지미 인두산에 지 체여배기 체시jen기 안에 점링기 간다 정중기 된저디 체매베지 로민 대함디 지금 대바 조토바지 와데 가하셔 대하면
And when we are not able to be satisfied, then we become more and more governed by greed, which causes us to consume more and more things. And at some point, this becomes a very challenging situation with respect to the world's natural resources. I think one of the most important things for us to understand is that our greed here in this desire realm of human beings is inexhaustible. It has no limits. It is infinite. But the natural resources that are available to us on the planet Earth are not limitless. They are finite. They are limited in their quantity. And so we're facing an impossible situation here if we're trying to stack up the world's natural resources against the limitless greed of human beings. There's no way that this situation is going to produce the satisfaction that human greed seeks after.
어떤 인주산다 치기 material wealth 선한다도 야나지 벤드용 벤조롱주디서 가솔이야 고야르 건코야래 아주 고야래 다텔 rejection 차다 데 고고 말했어야 되게요 말 이내야 아주 친되인 양양 토리아 아주 다다버도지 배주만 거치 다 야게 배주만 거치 버리네 디게 아주 차상 내가 침버를 주요한데 갈아가버지 차리요 하래 디레미 윤자라 때네 친되인 강배 되인 롱주 강배게지 난심기 이제 가져다지 셈리야 침버를 주요하지다 다 디기 주요하다 갈아가버지 차리요 하래 디 윤자라 때네 아주 inner wealth somewhere 시기 벤저 배단 저버좀 많이 봐 난심기 and better job of the 공회동과디 아주 개심을 통해야지. 그래서 시흥업 비좀 서버이나 낭디 배 똥바를 쳐야 돼야지. 지 낭을 셈리야. 아니지 가수에 지 셈들해야지. 레사 되서는 지 매대는 지. 다 들리지 좋아요.
Outer material wealth and outer material enjoyments are things that we need. And no one is trying to deny that we need these things. No one is trying to say that we shouldn't have any wealth or that we shouldn't have any material enjoyments. The main point I'm trying to make here is that if we simply follow after our desire for outer wealth and outer enjoyment and have that be our only means of gaining a sense of satisfaction or satiation, then it's going to be very difficult for us to actually become satisfied. Up until now, we've spent most of our energy and attention focused only on obtaining outer material wealth and outer enjoyments, and it really hasn't brought much satisfaction to our minds. And therefore, I think it's important for us to cultivate inner wealth and to understand the importance of inner wealth, not just seeing wealth and prosperity as something that can be obtained from the outside, but recognizing that wealth and prosperity exist inside of ourselves, and our appreciation of that can be further and further cultivated, so that we truly become, in the fullest sense, wealthy on the inside. If we're not able to cultivate that type of appreciation, then I think there's only going to be a sense of desolate isolation and impoverishment in our quest for satisfaction.
The inner red center, inner happiness center. That the yuan churching happiness sadi. That the ngazu sabanan sinji the complicated dana singi the kala khabar the main development. 오늘 제나 지 나섬이 디게 세난다도 야나 지 디게 오마데 토야라 초직니 시나 레라버지 인데지 다 이미네 아수기다 지 complicated some of the complicated yamna azuki some of the simple dabjida 다는 신기 natural som들 다 딘디지 기타는 지 some 다 모습을 체제 and some of the days 지 양타버를 좀 임비치 some of the 신실로버를 차지 딘데가 토안에 에너지 디기 토야디 깔라카버를 지당 에네 가두이네야 저원 지부메버를 차대야지 용돼야지 마더베다 탑람 디기 토야 탑람 시에나 레라버지 인데버지 깔라카버지 민데버지 딘데르지 사람
In terms of inner wealth and happiness, we usually, I think of these notions as being a little bit difficult to understand or difficult to approach, difficult to obtain. But really and truly, from a certain perspective, inner happiness is quite easy and simple to obtain. Our problem is that we think about it as being a complicated matter. We're not able to think of inner happiness as something that is natural, something that is simple. So this way of thinking is basically an incorrect way of thinking. So the true inner happiness is not something that is... Oh, sorry, I'll start that sentence again. When we have this incorrect way of thinking, then happiness is something that seems difficult for us to obtain, and the fulfillment of our hopes is also something that occurs rarely for us. But if we know the true method of accomplishing happiness, then happiness is actually something that's very easy. It is not difficult.
다 드린 주사는 안 드린데 넌 담은달래야 yes number 드린이마 the section session 타마르 드림이 주사네 디 균세데네 안지 간솔이야 다지 meditation 도지 곰 답데버스 드지 간소 쉬네 아부면도 something 정도스 다 이내 가나 meditation master 든데 게제 말다 I'm not a meditation master. 이내양 가주에다 다다 공도 쉬면은 신기 어디 초아로 디스 중시 연구도 낭심기 디기사데 에 친구비 디기지비기 마다 그게 가면 딱 한다 지 meditation 야고 신급에 되네야 다 디즈 텔레지 always have interest 테니베 인자 디균세 되는 간솔이야 안도두지 methods 마시 지단 간sam에 신급에 다 이내야 양가르지 간주 시에비나 지체나 다들이 어레데 지체는 간주 지체 편도 용어를 정도서
Since the current session is the final session of the program, I thought that it would be good to share with you or teach you a easy method of meditation to do. However, I'm no kind of meditation master, so there is that limitation, but as I mentioned earlier, I do have some type of feeling of appreciation for this notion of inner happiness. So even though I don't know much about meditation, I seem to always feel an interest in it. And therefore I think that it would be good for me to share with you a brief instruction on meditation. And doubtlessly all of you already know this meditation instruction, but I feel that if I share this instruction with you again, that it will be beneficial to you.
Everybody's teasing me. 다 되려야 지당기 다 미망부증 알아야 계시죠. 저랑 니마지로 곰 가지 겨였어. 곰 뒤수를 집에 주수 가마 가지 겨였어. 되게 지죠. 다디 계자디 가디 태어나 되게 자성모도 돼. 계자디 좋아돼. 랭자데 갈아가고 싶어. 가르에서나 지당 치게 뒤줄이나 단 듣는 디바 곰자 인사지 주주 줘봐. 당 알미세 근데 맛이 지당 알아디 지기 뒤주디 regular summer 티가서다데 timetable 되시라 디 덴덴시라 매데 드시셔 안드레 주스탄에 디토 딘데메 라바르도 곰제브사 미세 드는 디바 곰자 뒤주 인사 미세 드스케 어마데 안 맛이 곰지시다 자외 신금인도 드네 인두산에 곰이 자마시도 타임테이블 선에 쳤습니다. No point. Lots of people, actually that one, lots of people ask me every day, actually lots of people ask me my timetable. And also lots of people ask me how long you will meditate in one day. I always hate this question. But I don't know how to answer this question because actually my time, actually I don't have much timetable usually. What? No fixed schedule. Of course they have some, it's fixed, but it's most of the time it's not fixed. It's flexibility there. And also I'm not, some of the Western practitioners, they have this timetable for meditation. Such and such a time, this is for meditation purpose. But I don't have that. And actually, I don't know. Sometimes I think I don't know how to meditate. That's why I think to make a sort of timetable for meditation, maybe it's not much point. Da ina chi mise meditation cha tuzu mena ya da chi susu nima jinaro chawa kande chebe ya kap tidu sana ji karu ji that moment samarwe ji susu semgo ji semge semgo chong ke khamar ta kap tidu sana susu semdi and ji negab tele ya be ji semdi ma ji ne khangtu ru chi da ji dana singi ji 가서 다시 전시에 된 컨트롤을 시켜 trying.
So even though I don't have a special schedule or a particular time that I meditate, there are different times during the day throughout my day-to-day life that I do manage to practice a little bit of mindfulness and awareness, whatever situation I might be in, whatever activity I might be performing. So there's a phrase from the meditation teachings that says, sustain the experience of the nature of mind. And what I do is nothing like that, but rather what I try to do is just in whatever situation I find myself from time to time, I feel that I'm able to bring some presence of mind to bear and have some mindfulness and awareness.
조금 차다 조금 차 넘버 2 주정데 요시 다데 양참 신의 라동스거래 아니 지기 드레 인주산다 디나르만 뒤바 메베소시 다이네다 조디 예들이야 슈아데 남규 지 웅중업라 셈데네 웅중업라 셈데네 breathing meditation somode 다데 인주사 텔레 셈데아데 energy pentor's yon the yebetrochi in dream in dusane that tigun sel dene and di golia chansolia do du chi shuins.
In terms of meditation, it is said that all forms of meditation are included in the two categories of shamatha, calm abiding, and vipassana, clear seeing. These two categories can also be called by the alternative names resting meditation and analytical meditation. So it's said that there is no meditation that cannot be placed into the two categories of resting meditation or analytical meditation. And again, these also go by the names shamatha and vipassana, respectively. But from among all the meditation methods that there are, I think the foremost among them all, one of the most beneficial forms of meditation is meditation upon the breath, focusing one's attention on the coming and going of the breath, focusing one's attention on the inhalation and exhalation. I think this is a very beneficial meditation method, and for this reason I'd like to offer you a brief instruction on this type of meditation today.
The breathing meditation the 가르에 대래 계슈를 찍디 계슈 카셰셔를 계슈 찍디 가라서나 the breathing 자데 우중음 자데 아주 지당기 니준르지 no more things 지당기 니준르지 미상메게지 가르에 가두이네 우단디가래 드린드스 미세기 차와르지 개쳐야 말에 지당기 니준르 차디가래 근데 이be 인주사 디 균센데네 랑기 심디 지당기 내당스는 장도 지 아주 탐의 정신기 내부를 가르쳐 되려마 로네 되려마 로 somewhere come back to the sort of natural normal situation 되려마 로체 아니 디토네 디 말로 연두산 그 정신기 가르쳐지 심데 르르르 시하지 좀지직 되래 아마 제 지금 지당기다 곰잡에 신의 곰백qab리야 미베테 다지 람도 먹고 와래 다 이내야 breathing 사데 그뒤에 안 쏘다 냠도 유에 되듯이 인주산에 다 미세 미베테 신시 최고 같이다 다나시 미세 최고야지 가면 그 정신기 유에 인주산에 정신기 내다로 심이 되려마 랑게 셈데마 냠버샤 되려마 랑게 셈데 랑킴도 랑게 킴도 로버 더버지기 다 들리지기 가르에 계준을 찍디 대를 차리 그랬습니다.
There are a few distinct features of breathing meditation, or a few distinct beneficial qualities of breathing meditation. One is that the focal support for breathing meditation is simply the breath. It is our own exhalation and inhalation. That is a very normal activity. It's something that's present for everyone, and we don't have to do or create anything special for this type of focal objective meditation to be there for us. It's something that happens naturally, and therefore when we focus our mind or attention on it, what we're doing is allowing our mind to come back to the normal, regular state of things, to return to the normal state of things, to return to a natural state. And due to this, the breathing meditation method helps our mind to relax. So, therefore, in this type of meditation, there's all kinds of other different types of meditation with their own special focal objects, but in this one, it is just the breath, and therefore we don't need to go looking for any other focal support. We don't need to engage in any other type of activity than what we're already doing, i.e. breathing. And so therefore it's a very natural form of meditation that provides us with an experience akin to coming back home, resting evenly.
다드네 계주시디 가라서나 땅 아주 넘긴 미 아주 대용의 미망고치 내가 망고치야로 최냐면 지고 말아 봐. 내가 잡는 망고치야로 내가 제일 뉴스한 내가 나로 이제 스트레스 차 지기 잠은 되봐 수수지 되봐 마가와다 로판바다 다이 레타 체바 이탕 체바什么的다 근데 니즈 망고 정의 뉴스 샘드베 초제 다지베 이모셔널 시 차대 주용도 드레이 뉴스 다 당기 쉬는 신기 지가 저기 breathing meditation 제제 NSMD ane renshin ki ta kan rangi jungu ro di thwa le ma sem de lue sha bi mi na a renshin ki ji satisfied ro ji yong de ya ji di kan de res la bi mi na actually we are amazing ro ji 가르사는 지단체는 아주 원사를 첨부를 주인 되지 디 가르사나 아주 우디 우다 매비나 아주 람사 시도가 그래 드린주사는 우동아사데 옥시준 당한테 아주 지 송본내야기 자외 유연도지 자외 유연도 차려야 다 이내 우 팀지 당버지 평거야 말아 우디베 양내 양도 윤세 매버지 당고 다들 우디 양내 양도 윤세 매버 당고 유비 인주산 다들 아주 우동아기 차진도디 데 그래서 컨디션도디 아주 녀고야나 아까라 가보러 다 얘네들 녀고야 말해 아주 미세게 배주 제고야 말해 미세게 배반도 제지 대 영화가 특히 제고야 말해 그래서 당고라 대人心기 즉대 외대버지 수순 뒤에 외대버지다 수술을 더 륜두부스 외대버지 근데 지금 인주산티 균선되네 아주 진짜 삼로 당연주사는 오늘 전에지 아무다지 손불 촌에 우다 예대버디 원서를 첨부지다 에너지게 진탕한 태워듯이 근데 지금지 아주 손안으로 지게 그래 sometimes now we can breathe is pressure I think next time I should learn Germany.
As to another
Otherwise,
distinct
I
feature,
don't know his mistake or not. I don't know. I just believe in you. No, don't look like that. Don't look at me like that.
As to another distinct feature of breathing meditation, our lives are filled with all kinds of different activities. It's not as if we're just practicing the Dharma in an explicit way all the time. We have all kinds of responsibilities to fulfill, work to do, and so forth. So we're doing all kinds of things. And often these activities and situations can produce stress. Our life has all kinds of ups and downs and surprises and so forth. So sometimes we find that our desires aren't fulfilled. Sometimes we find that our minds are disappointed. Sometimes we find that our hopes are dashed. And we find our mind disturbed in many ways and beset by various emotional circumstances. What breathing meditation provides us is a very simple method by which we can focus on the coming and going of our breath to help relax our mind and allow our mind to return to its natural state and very naturally discover an experience of satisfaction. Actually, through this simple technique of breathing meditation, we can have the insight that we are amazing, wondrous beings. The reason is because if you think about the breath, the breath is something that we need to have. Without breathing, we would die. And it's not the case that we need to breathe only once in order to survive. We need to breathe again and again.
Oh. Okay. Ngadari Germany sumayong kola Dililia Mengan chinji never tuga chimbe. Never has to watch. Tina never see 200 Dusane. That got the heart detectors or the Gajas door. Ning the Bia Shasha. That Namju, Ningu Georgia, Udan Dusan as a normal get Zachum Zuyamaro. That in a co never chats at Dusane. That the Paso to Tujeti, Gaja, Tuk Gajan. I think I'm down the line to that. That the when it's ne. Then you get hug over that, tick, sad, maybe chance on Midishidra. They do stand a tea, you sent ten. When it and a shandang Namju, the gas, Jidan of Jitsidiati, when it's in a Zachi, the Chadi here. That's the distance.
It's not the case that we need to breathe only once, but we need to breathe lots of times continuously. And therefore, this is a very important condition necessary for our survival. But the breath is something that we don't need to buy. If we needed to purchase the breath, that would be very difficult. But the breath is free. We don't need to buy it. We don't need to do anything to create the presence of the breath. It's naturally present. It's spontaneously present. And if we really examine this reality in depth, then we will discover that this is a great wonder. This presence of the breath is an invaluable wealth that we have. Recently, before I went to India, I went to meet some sick patients at a hospital, and it was a really striking experience for me to meet with some of them who were connected to heart monitoring machines, the machines that made beeping sounds corresponding with each pulse of the heartbeat. And it just brought the reality into stark relief that if those beeps stop, then that person is going to die. So really, the beating of the heart of this individual is an extremely precious thing. It's the most precious thing right there.
That gom jatan of the Tachidan gom Jedusan Lugidan Dudan Ruchi. That the Ludi, the Rungbo Ruchi, Koran Karjuchi, Ludi Huluchi Madena, and Sem Hulu and the Kalahapstadwa. They do that Ludia and the Chismji Karjuchi, Susu. Tachidan Lugin Dudan Mazueda. Traditional summer as Dina and Mangushijare. That didn't get Shakwas came into Takana Zozo de Karajurji, Susugi, the Ludi, the Rumbob Senanto, Kandaraji can't deal with the Nijik Toanemaji, Ludic, Lurich, Dewa, the Ketchum Sharisha. That dinner Zo the Tangashi Shuadi, Semdi, that's Jumub Cheve Goblia. Semdi, that's Unjungu Toria, Shago Arab Choyare. The Hindustan, Movie Goblinia, Energy, Temper, dear Karashway, Sim, Temper the Shishing symbol of Chichila. And Danashi, Udi, Movie Gobliana, she said, Matame Goblina, Tenancy Channel. Donarang Semdi, U Galia, G. Kature, Lune. And then the tempest in the gas, the Caterpillar Ying Devon of Jamaiba, Yuma Maimba, they are tempest symptoms. The Digi Tone, Takanda, she won't only a symptom.
In terms of the physical posture for meditation, having the body be relaxed and naturally settled is very important. if the body is not relaxed, it will be difficult for the mind to relax. Now, there are many points that are taught in regard to physical posture in the traditional teachings of meditation. I won't go into that level of detail today. I'll just say that the main point is it's important for the body to be relaxed and naturally settled and comfortable. And then for the breathing meditation technique, in terms of our mind, we place our attention on the coming and going of our breath. We place our attention on the in-breath and the out-breath. So for example, when we breathe in, we hold that breath with our mindfulness and awareness. And similarly, when we breathe out, we embrace the out-breath with our attention, our mindfulness and awareness. So in brief, we relax our body and our mind very naturally, and we allow our mind to be free from distraction. We relax our mind, but not in a way in which we allow it to become distracted. Rather, we hold the breath, the coming and going of the breath with mindfulness and awareness.
다 추도 추통아 고급 잘합니다. 네. 다 디가를 운중우 제외거려야 가시 삼발야지 운중우 네 셈대외거려야 우디 미세를 당고연 즉 연나식도와 다들 미세가 와서 당연히 주변에 우대가로 그뒤에 땅디에 뉴스다네 다들이 급디두사야 배 미세 우르 체동 안에 에너지 우다 배주체는 돼 야버스게요. 안 가시 에너지티 가도와 에너지요알 미마워지 지게 에너지 방워지 som다데 돼 야버스타잉이 가시게 지가서 우양우드사 배 쇼좀 거라 마던 두사 쇼좀 다는 디지용 거봐 땅 아주 들이야 지 치공을 버지 래면도 드네 뉴스안에 다 간다 셈 간다 우디 정 남규 가르 정법 가르 등에나 디토를 당하지다 다나 생아주양 운중우 검체외 걸려야 운중을 진당 제조 봐 장가점 파 다당 주 무비아되게 장가야죠 다들 장가야디 종래 저거도 뭐종래 개발하면도 다 간다를 우파 가서 땅바다 주가 정부보다 장가야 뭐종래 다 조조데 간다를 우파 땅배 걸리냐 전부의 시신기 심벌이 셈디 간다를 남도 신달이야 제수 만나는 체제 다지 소 셈제다 지 데베니즈다 마음베니즈다 망고지 가서 지 프로블럼 마음베 프로블럼도 망고지 삼려나 마허르 체제 셈디 녀리 앞에 흘려 체제 간다를 지 셈르베 릴렉스 차자로 지 봐대지 안디 우 중우랑 토려야 간다를 지 셈대체 전부의 시신 심벌이 되게 좋은 바지 주세선 정도스
So again, in terms of the way that we breathe during the breathing meditation, some people think that there is some special way to breathe or that there should be some special way to breathe. But it's not like that. We do not need to put any special effort into a technique of breathing, as it were. And if we were to apply special effort into breathing in a certain manner, that would not be a good way to do this meditation. Some people have lots of thoughts and concepts about the notion of energy, and to cultivate or give rise to this so-called energy, they might breathe in very vigorous ways, taking vigorous deep breaths in and vigorous deep breaths out, and so forth. That is not a good example for us to follow here. Here, for our purposes, with this breathing meditation technique, the breath should simply be ordinary. its natural state, natural duration, and so forth. However we breathe normally should be the way we breathe in this meditation technique. And furthermore, sometimes there is taught a method of counting the breath as part of breathing meditation, keeping track of how many times we have breathed, sets of inhale and exhale, and so forth. If that happens naturally, or it seems to come about naturally during the course of our breathing meditation, that's fine, but actually there's no special need for us to count the breath either. So we don't need to exert any special effort toward the breath. We don't need to try to breathe in a certain style, and we don't need to try to count our breath either. The main point here is that as we breathe, we place our attention on the breath, we hold it with our mindfulness and awareness, and we try not to allow our mind to follow after other thoughts. We try to allow our mind to just be with the breath, to hold the breath with mindfulness and awareness, and not follow after other worries or concerns of the mind, thoughts about the past or the future.
Stress mang lege stress mang bustare da jagar sina shara yamata lega lendene le mandene da ta ji karjo de cheche dan rode yare train jusane e jam de ji samsam ji nimaji na lo le ya kama jonga nishu onda de ji karjo kama jonga nishu de ene ji zuru dan ji su su de semle le de ha ji 신다 강가 심대만 주스들이 제제 대비네 this 편도용 도구를 삼으로 수 시스템이야 스트레스 미 편도용 도구를 삼으로 또 정도 다들 리제샤 다 검데 다르지.
And so we simply relax in this way while paying attention to the breath itself, and I think that practicing in this way will be sufficient. In the West, many people lead busy and stressful lifestyles. In India, it's not so much like that. For whatever reason, the people in India seem to just work when they have to work and then go home when they have to go home, or do whatever it is that they have to do while they are doing it. There doesn't seem to be as much of a prevalent presence of stress in India. But of course, this is not the case in the West, and therefore I think breathing meditation will be particularly beneficial for Westerners. I think it'd be beneficial for us to set aside a few minutes every day to do this breathing meditation, whether it's 15 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever amount of time you can fit in to do a little bit of this breathing meditation. I really think that this will help us to relax our minds, and I really think that there will be some benefit for you in terms of helping your mind to be free from stress.
That conclusion gives a shame. That is Eurolia Yoagi, that woman of Jimena, Semlea, Germany, Yongi, some region. In a Tarigi, Gulondi, Germany, Gulondi, Stamevsi, Europe, inside the Gulondi, Shushersh, Carazan, this, some of the Gashersh. Chesa, Mahobalea, Unetanega, Germany. Ni zamdo massive da Europe says Casagalia and Rotuyak. That's 30 steps. Tigal Rotuya, Ravachambuyes. And Gandaria, the Yangarchi, Yontuade, Lealabo Mare, Mi Mambuchi Gita, Bezuche, Mi Mambuchi Gabio Chaverdene, Shumbi in Dusane, the Rig to Zudan, Dunche, and Gabio Chenge, the Rinde Yontuya, Gabio Chenge, Ram Chenge, Samala, Tushishai.
So I think that's about all I have to say about the topic of meditation for today. And now, in terms of concluding remarks for the entire program, this time when I came to Europe, I really feel like I'm visiting Europe and not just Germany. So, my first time visiting here, the thought in my mind was mostly, I'm visiting Germany, I'm coming to Germany. But this second time, for some reason, I've been thinking about it a little bit differently. Even though physically I'm just coming to Germany, the thought in my mind is that I'm visiting Europe and I'm coming to Europe. So along those lines, I really hope that the next time, which will be the third step in this process, I will have the opportunity to continue to visit Europe, and not just Germany, but many other countries in Europe as well. And I feel like my attitude has very much broadened. My thoughts are getting broader and broader in this regard. So I hope that the way that this is able to unfold in the future can correspond with that increasing broadness. In terms of the program and visit that we've had here this year, of course, something like this is not easy to produce. An opportunity like this is not easy to produce. It involved the effort and hard work of many people. There have been many supporters who have made this possible, and many people who have helped to make it possible. And all of you who have supported and worked to make this possible, I would like to thank all of you very much.
다 달려 룸줄이야. 되네. 다 달로 개감님 친사를 달로 좋아요 많아. 라바르도 달려 룸줄 될 어래. 되네 사나 다 로사베 나라. 더 진짜 당보 January, February 디콜이야. 그 유망람. and 제비 인두산에 저와 좀 보시라요 알아요. 안 디젤이야 아주 주메기 군주여로 난스 군주. 다 디걸이야 아주 the first time somewhere 지 full ordination. 다 간다지 드네지 요아게 베즈르 좀 아주 레와르 캡체. 다 도시에 영디요. 드린 인두산 디균제나 되네. 다 내가 망보시라요 알아요. 다 드네 디젤이야 진짜 숨바 시바다 다와 찌지 파지 다 레스를 제거 쳐봐. 다다 드린 인두산에 로춘주 레디네 다 참자 레스 마시나 갈라가브로 다드네 진짜 나바 축바 dimba 디즈갑리아 지시나 유럽리아 로투야기 베즈르지 다디나 not sure 다디 녜 sure 셰도만다 it's not in my control 다이네 아주 진짜 나바 축바 dimba 또지 유럽리아가지 연투야 나주 베즈르지 도시 참 베즈르도 샤 체시르도 US
So this year I was able to visit 2 foreign countries in the West. And then in terms of the plan, or at least the vision for next year, during the months of January and February, Kagyu Menlam will be taking place, so that will be a very busy time. That will be followed by a winter program for nuns, for the ordained female Sangha. And we hope to further our vision for full Bhikshuni ordination at that time. The months of March and April, by necessity, will need to be scheduled for rest time because January and February will be so busy with the activities just mentioned, the very busy activities just mentioned. So some rest is necessary. And then in terms of June, July, and August, my current hope is that I will be able to visit Europe sometime within this time period. Of course, I'm not sure, and whether or not this will be possible is really not in my control. But that is my current wish and my current vision, to be able to visit Europe again sometime during the time frame of June, July, or August of 2016.
Thank you. That Europe Jacob country Coandra is at the Mashi. Ya disappointed China woman. That did the Mashi, the US. That the name or that the India Azu Karsuji Nimashirilia and Tradition Chapter, Chazan, Church Chapter, Dirilia G, Tradition Azu the hotel game, the day the Guanzu that Shepshu service. Robert Ramchia, Anganzu, volunteer this Robert here. Undana Shingi organization. That's how Rolia two shares. The Kadinches Gansu, Karakapsha Choson, which is like Antolia, two shares.
For this, in terms of the envisioned next visit to Europe, I think it's best to not discuss which countries I envision visiting, because if some type of disappointment comes up, then that disappointment will be all the more difficult to bear. So I think that topic is most skillfully left aside for the time being. But back to our current program, we've had the opportunity to gather here for 4 days and have a wonderful Dharma program, and many people's work has made this possible. There is the hotel staff and all the people on the hotel's side of things that have made this possible. There have been our own volunteers who have done so much work, and there have been all of the program organizers who, all of these individuals who have been mentioned, have worked so hard to make this happen, and I'd like to thank all of you very much for your excellent work.
And technical team, the Danish translator, that is which the Gesham Starwa, and Azuchi live webcast in Dusane, this is Gujans, they have some of the Masebe, Tinsamni Casagalia, Mimambajigi. Azu de Nizu Karayungu, you have the Hakotoya Chagare. Then you sang Kwanzu Summer or two Chishai, Kerana, two Chishai.
And there is also a technical team and a team of translators that has been working as well, doing important work such as helping with the live webcast. So it's not only ourselves who are physically gathered here that have been able to take part in this program, but due to the webcast, many people from all over the world have been able to be a part of this. And so to all these individuals, I would like to say thank you, and His Holiness also made a note of thanks to the onstage translator.
Tadine, Nazutari, Chikarre, there that Lama Mangupea, Shosoka Lamare, which is Sore, Dana Jinazu. Parents could you monotone marriage, Ruba. Parents could you monotone marriage. Kashi, Poland. Takasta, parents it's Sazare. Oh, Takasta. Takanda Kanda Lamon, which letters Ladruda. And Gans 다나시 최소하게 지 가서 디렉터당 더 망고실래야 최소한 점들 망고실래야 다 나저기 다 예외 로카시 링리아 아주지다 라마 마 구데바 망보지 에네 치게를 양네 아도 페마도브체 안 다나 신기 야 라마 지감 감가 유 라마 망보지 야 니주 디펜스 가서다지 니주 기겐베다 지 베낭 안다버지 다 political reason 되게 토하네 페마도버든데 니주 망보지 용디 야래 제가 그냥 소리야 최소기 구티칭엔 소래 최소 멤버 소래 그냥 미세다 강연듯이 아주 용디 야래 다 이내야 그냥 저기 지게 대반도 덤슨 요매베 토하는 그냥 저다지 심슈 마샤버지 다다버지 종대버 야버지 종버들량에 제수랑다 마음발이네 못 뒤지 그냥 저 아니 심슈 마차버지로 치스
There have also been many lamas who have come to attend this program from all kinds of different places, as well as directors of various Dharma centers and representatives and members of various Dharma centers. In the past few years, it has come to pass that some of the lamas, due to their health situations and so forth, have not been able to travel as much as previously to foreign countries. And also sometimes maybe even due to political reasons, some other lamas were not able to come and see me and be here. And I think that this has created some unique challenges for the directors and members of certain Dharma centers. And so I would simply like to acknowledge that and say that I appreciate your continued support. And despite these difficulties, your faith and samaya has remained changeless, and your spirit has also remained resolute and steadfast. And so I would like to encourage you to continue on with your work and to continue on and maintain your spirit. And thank you again for all that you do.
다들 미세 아주 파렌슬이야 겹지 보름 짓고 공약이 차다셔다 센터 지yor 센터 중주죠 봐 제가 다 캬안소 제 미세 캬안소 지 센터디 가주려다 겹지 보름 짓 연시다도 별이야 쇼도야래 다 별이야 감감상게 다 라신 조를 치제 공다 우티를 나지 비게 쇼야래 링두산에 지 가주다 지 별 감감상 차천빈다 자천부 계십십샤되야래 그래서 공기 가르쳐 잡아치래 다다 게다 예심으로들 차되야래 제가 강조 미세게 강조리야 미세 강조 지그 센터 총미래 강조리네 미세게 지 첨주슈아이 가장디 rumbuchigi yansi kolya en kyanzu rewa chebanan shi mangobali ne rumbuchi en kyanzu chuzolya petoya da teda lamsan kala khaburwa ina mangobali ji petoya ge rewa shuye en kyanzu mise tsumdu shuye.
I wanted to make a special acknowledgement of the members of the center that was founded by the previous Pawa Rinpoche in France. The reincarnation of Pawa Rinpoche has been discovered and is living in Tibet now. And Pawa Rinpoche is a very important Lama in the Kagyu lineage. He's considered one of the highest figures in the Kagyu lineage, and it is wonderful that his incarnation has been recognized, is present in Tibet. And so the enlightened activities of Paul Rinpoche have flourished and are continuing to flourish. And so I wanted to offer a special greeting to the members of the Paul Rinpoche Center in France. And I hope that in accordance with your hopes that Paul Rinpoche will be able to visit your center in the future. Of course, it would be difficult to bring him there immediately, but I do hope that he is able to visit you in France in the future.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Your Holiness, these 4 days are at the end, and it's time to say thanks. Thanks not only to you, also to the helpers and to all the members coming here to follow your teachings and to join the initiation. Many thanks that all of you come to see His Holiness and to be with us. Special thanks to the Rinpoches and the ordained Sangha, but also to our sponsors and supporters, which made a very important contribution so that we were able also to sell entrance card on lower rates for those people who don't have so many money. So therefore, your contribution was also very important to enable that. Holiness, it is said the Karmapa is one who carries out the Buddha activities. You did that very extensive. You put in your advices, you made very clear that the Dharma has to be put into praxis, that the Dharma should become part of the daily life, that it is not enough just to sit on the cushion and to practice and find your own silence and peace. If you look at the world, and His Holiness explains that in very detail, especially what happens in Europe at this time with all the refuge who have no home, and many of them are dying because there's not enough support, that seeing such pictures should a Dharma practitioner really get the impetus, I have to help. His Holiness gave us the picture of Shenrezi with four arms, but only one head. So it is not so much a theory of Buddhism practice, it is praxis, practical help with your hands. And I think we all got that message, and we are very full of thanks that you made that so clear to us. And I hope that most of us are able to take that in their daily life and also get a new view of that, what is going around in their world. We thank you that you spent your time and come to Germany again, at least to Europe. We tried it, but we failed, as I said again before, when I welcomed you. And we hope very much that in the next year we get a better result. Maybe it's also possible that one of the other countries, Austria or France, is strong enough to invite His Holiness and get also the necessary governmental support. We would very glad if that happens, because our wish here in Germany, all those who work here for His Holiness, is not to keep him for us, it is to support him that he can go wherever he wants to go, that he is free. And we will do our best that in the next year can happen. So we're looking forward that you come again to Europe, maybe not to Germany, maybe only to other countries, but you're every time also very welcome to come to us. We thank you very much for being here.
Thank you. We should recite one prayer. Barbe. Recite one prayer? It's okay? Fine? Okay. 딱 안 되나. 예마고 상게 나와다 다 예수 조도 제천보다愿都 선바도 신도 나라 상게 자선바메 고예고 내게 원스라바도메 예대와 진실자외 신감대 다겐데네 새벽교마다 개와 신계 밤아제바로 대로게네 난대샤동쇼대게나기 면란다바예 조주산계 자선단제기 김인주브라진예라도소 대아타 벤산제 아무 소조대야와세 공소니졸라제예라 다긴두성게사바 군조순라제바미 갸웨덴바비규진게와심진 근랑오 조근상겐도유르지 예사탐지제düne 다신규라민규르지르니단 소존네 세렘 덴센데사주네 규르지 나시세베규 다대와 진도에게 규르지 예네베면 가시네 르덴데라상계주 찬조도 내시세도 주변로 주 소남nen데예 탐제세바 톰네 예베 장남 범제네 개가나 발라 주바이 세베소 로와 주와슈 오케이. Thank you.